This is not, anymore, who you know, what you know. That was the way of the past. I think with Premier Doug Ford, he expects the highest level of competence and the delivery of results. And that's what we seek. That's what this new appointment focus will deliver. And I want people to know that.
That was the new education minister, Stephen Lecce, addressing the Ford government's patronage fiasco. Lecce once worked in communications for Stephen Harper, and he's skilled at staying on message. The government made him available late this afternoon after a news conference with the former education minister this morning didn't go so well. She was making an announcement on digital strategy when she was asked about the scandal and tried to change the subject. The reset is in jeopardy. Do you think the entire system is rotten at the core? Has the last year been rotten when it comes to hiring people and appointing people?
Quite simply, no. And what else is very, very important is that we catch up to countries like Estonia and Denmark in terms of data strategies. As I said, I am totally supportive of the Premier. He is wanting to ensure that our government is focused on what people need across this province. For example, our data strategy.
The government has been in turmoil ever since the Premier's close friend and Chief of Staff, Dean French, suddenly resigned on Friday after 2 government appointments were revoked. One was a 26-year-old friend of French's son with seemingly little experience for the $165,000 job in New York. The other, a family relative. Adding fuel to the fire today, revelations King Surma's father was given a government job right after the election. Surma is a first-time MPP who was promoted during last week's cabinet shuffle to Associate Transportation Minister. She has long ties to Doug Ford. She worked at City Hall when the Premier was a city councillor. During the election, the Liberals accused Ford of improperly helping her get her Etobicoke riding nomination. Senior government sources tell City News today the MPP's father, Miroslav Surma, went through a thorough hiring process for the job and worked for many years in logistics for small businesses and brings that perspective to the government.
I would not prejudice, and I would caution anyone, including yourself, to, in a pejorative way, suggest an individual who's worked in one of the largest sectors of the economy in telecom and has gone through the everyday aspirations as a middle-class person who didn't have a lot of money upon his entrance to this country but made it and worked hard. That is actually a voice that should be informing more cabinet ministers.
The government today clarified it will review all pending appointments, not past ones, and adds if any existing appointments are found to be unsuitable, they will be revoked. But the question is, how will they find out if they aren't looking into them? The Premier himself has not commented publicly about the scandal. His only public appearance since his Chief of Staff stepped down was at Ford Fest, where he made no mention of it. Many inside the government now quietly worry it's going to be a witch hunt to expose people, whether they deserve it or not.